Okay, so a lot of the personal development space is drowning in the same old cliches and mantras. Be humble and like ego is the enemy. And let me tell you something here. That's the mindset that held me back for a very long time and is probably holding you back. Because the only time that your ego is your enemy is when it's out of alignment with your goals or you just happen to be completely delusional to how reality actually works. And my point is, if your ego is not serving you, then yeah, it's a problem. But softening your ego, downplaying your potential or the greatness that you feel is inside of you, that's the kiss of death. Especially if you have introverted tendencies like myself and you also want to make an impact on the world. Or at least you want to live a life that you never really thought that you could. And besides, let's be real. The loudest people in the room get the most attention. Period. Point blank. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. But if you want more opportunities and advantages in life, you need to get noticed. And this isn't about being obnoxious or fake or disingenuous because that's what most people get wrong. This is about being unapologetically powerful and owning your own confidence and greatness and letting the world know that you're here to win. You're not shrinking anymore. You're not settling for being good enough or for something that's okay. You are aiming for extraordinary, and you need to have a big ass ego in order to get there. A healthy ego, a good ego, is the engine that turns failures into rocket fuel, doubt into unstoppable momentum, and rejection into pure grit. And so then we have to start asking, what is ego anyway? Your ego is your self image. It's how you see yourself in relation to the world and how you choose to express that by showing up in the world. And so society, media, and the self improvement space they just love to tell you the ego is bad and to be humble and make sure that, you have that humility quality about yourself. But why is that? Why is it that 99% of people who have the things that you want, success, influence, freedom, they all have strong egos and they let the world know it. But here's the thing. People often confuse your ego with arrogance, but they're not the same. Arrogance is ego out of control. It's thinking that you're untouchable and you refuse to learn and you just belittle others. But a healthy ego, which can look like arrogance, is actually just confidence in you and the actions that you choose to take. And it's knowing your own personal value and showing up like you've earned the damn seat at the table. And your ego, especially a big one for yourself, is the bridge between who you are and who you are wanting to be. It's what fuels your belief in yourself, even when nobody else is going to. Because at the end of the day, when we die, all we have is ourself. And so the big question for you is, if ego is actually our enemy, why do the people we admire so much have such a large one? Just really think about it. Your ego's not the problem. It's the solution to a lot of your, if not all of your confidence and self-worth issues. Yeah, but Marcus Aurelius, the leader of Rome and the world at the time, said ego's the enemy. Now, I need to break this down for you. Marcus Aurelius wasn't just some guy like us who's like trying to grind our way to success. He was already the most powerful man in the world. And his choices that he chose to make every day carried massive weight. And his decisions affected entire empires. And of course, he had to filter his ego a little bit because his decisions were going to impact so many people. And that's another thing is like, as you grow up the ladder of success and your decisions impact more people, you do have to filter things out a little bit. But let me be clear. He didn't kill his ego. He wasn't humble. He had absolute conviction in himself and the way that he carried himself. And he typically faced life's chaos head on and made decisions with confidence because he believed in his ability to lead. And that is what Stoicism specifically is about. It's not about being emotionless or just ignoring problems. It's about standing firm in who you are, no matter what life throws at you or the thoughts that come into your head or the beliefs that you have about yourself. And more importantly, believing that you are the bad motherfucker to do it. And so this isn't about being arrogant or being selfish. This is about strength, confidence, self-belief, a strong identity. And if you want to achieve greatness, you need to build a fat ass ego, one that's aligned with your goals and unapologetically powerful. And I know this because I spent so long pussyfooting around not being the version of me that I know I needed to be in order to get to the next level. Because now that I'm surrounded with people that like actually believe in my ability, they've reaffirmed it to me so many times that now I have no choice but to believe it. And as I'm continuing to grow my career, make more money, be into like higher leverage opportunities, I've noticed it really just comes down to how you show up and how you decide to actually take what is yours. Okay. And so now the real question starts to become, how do we build a strong, aligned ego with where we are wanting to go? And so these are the main things that I did. So this is what worked really well for me. So feel free to take what you want and try to apply, but let's just forget the fluff for now and let's just get tactical. So if you want an ego that drives you to ultimately dominate, to where you don't even have to think about it, it's just a part of who you are. It's part of your character at this point. The first thing that you have to do is you have to stop feeding your mind absolute garbage. And I mean the way that you talk to yourself and the things that you consume online. So no more of, I'm just this, or I'm not good at that. That's weak. Okay. Those words are chains and you're cutting them off. Okay. Even if something is hard or you're not good at it, you have to add, I will be good at it, or comma, yet at the end of everything, and start speaking like someone who's already halfway to the top. So I'm learning to crush this. I can figure out anything. Like the words that you say aren't just noise. They are the literal blueprint for your identity. And every sentence is a brick in the empire of you and who you are. So speak power or watch yourself crumble. Ludwig Wittgenstein had a great quote, and it's, the limits of my language are the limits of my world. And that's the case here. So it's okay if doubt pops up or you have moments of this, but you have to learn to self-regulate and catch it when it happens so that you can reframe those things into something that's more beneficial to you. And it isn't a quick fix. It takes time, but either way, that time's going to pass. So you might as well use that time to actually fix what you're trying to fix. Okay. And so the second point is you have to own your wins like a king flaunts his crown. Okay. So you made that good thing happen, or you made that great thing happen. Don't act like it's not a big deal. Nobody's going to hand you a megaphone. So grab one and yell it, like post it, share it, tell the story, and don't shut the fuck up about it. Make your name synonymous with results. And so I see this all the time, and, I have to catch myself with people that like lose weight and, go from being fairly heavy to losing a lot. Like they talk about it all the time. But at the end of the day, you feel their confidence in themselves. Even if your judgment is against what they think, they don't care. They keep moving on. And that's the whole purpose of this. Okay. You want to make your name synonymous with results. And this is going to help you in every area of your life, from career, your relationships, your health and fitness, because confidence isn't just internal. It's built on repetition and reputation, the 2 R's. And this is because silence is for the invisible. Okay. Nobody's going to come save you. And so something a lot of people worry about is haters when it comes to doing this, right? And all I can tell you, coming from a person who is so scared of judgment, who has put himself out here a little on YouTube, it's actually not that bad. You're just reading words on a screen and it doesn't affect your day to day. And so people below you will literally find anything and everything to bitch about. Like they will find anything to try to poke holes in. And it doesn't matter how cool or positive it is. It's just a part of the game. Okay. So you just have to learn to live with it. And that just comes once again through repetition. And so from this point, you're going to want to start to show up like you own the room. So your posture, the way that you walk around, the speed in which you walk, do you have a purpose or direction when you're doing these things? It's not just body language. It's a declaration. Okay. Shoulders back, chin up, walk like you already own the place. Even if your heart is racing, you're nervous, you're anxious, act like you are the person, you're the storm that everyone's been waiting for. And when you talk, speak with conviction, use definitive language, and make sure that your presence demands some level of attention. Not saying you've got to be, the class clown or the person that is the life of the party, but make it so that people want to listen to you. And sometimes that actually means speaking slower in conversation. That means adding more thought when people ask you a question, leaving space in conversation, being comfortable with silence. People that are comfortable with silence are like some next level people, I'm telling you. If you've ever been in a room where somebody can just sit in perfect silence and they're totally calm and relaxed, like internally they're fine, and all of a sudden you have a belief in them and their confidence that you wish you had in yourself. And so the world's going to respect what you project, not what you hope for, and not what you are anxious about. Okay? And then from this point, you have to just ruthlessly cut out ego killers. So stop wasting time on people who dim your light or dim your fire, or they just say that, oh yeah, you're pretty good at that, or you're okay. No, you need people that are going to hype you up. Okay? If someone makes you question your worth or your greatness, then they're just dead weight. Okay? Surround yourself with those who challenge you, who push you, and who make you fight hard. Okay? Steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron. Hang with the dull and you're going to rust. Okay? Especially if you don't use those things. So choose your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. Sometimes this might mean you actually need to physically move locations. The best thing I've ever done for my life was moving away from my hometown, away from anybody I ever know. I don't stay connected with anybody I grew up with or went to high school with, and it's the best thing that I ever could have done. Okay? And so your ego is like a fortress. Every brick, so every person, every thought you have, every conversation you have, every move that you make needs to be calculated, because you're not here to play small anymore. You are here to conquer this thing that's called your life and succeed. So stop shrinking yourself, okay? Because how many times have you downplayed your wins because you didn't want to seem cocky, right? How many opportunities have you missed because you were afraid to take up a little bit of space or to be a little loud, or you didn't want to seem to be arrogant, okay? That needs to stop today, okay? Because the truth is, you are more powerful than you realize. But if you don't see it, the world's not going to either. And that's the biggest tragedy of all. Because general society and people that are in power that do have egos that need to be worked on because they're insecure little bitches, they don't want you to know that a strong ego isn't selfish. It's necessary. If you don't believe in your own value, nobody else is going to. And if you don't let the world know that you're here to win and you're going to do it no matter what, and that you deserve it, no one's going to hand you the opportunities that you feel like you deserve, especially if you're not vocal about it. Okay? So what do we do from this point? This is your challenge. Start owning your shit. Build a self-image, write what that looks like down, put it in your notes, make voice notes. But build it to where it's so powerful that it just naturally starts to attract opportunities, partnerships, and respect. And a lot of times it's just going to end up being doing more than what anybody else expects of you. Okay? So start telling your story, whatever that means, like where you came from, where you're trying to go. Start showing up places like you actually belong there. Even if you don't feel it inside, fake it. Act it. Do what an actor does. Start method acting. Start thinking bigger than you ever had before. If your goal, for instance, is to make, I'll just use this 10K a month in a job or something, bump it up to 20 or 30. Okay? Like make that the genuine goal and think about all the things that you could happen from that point, from that place. Because a small ego creates a small life. But a big ego, a great one, that's what creates the greatness that you're striving for. And the world needs more powerful people willing to stand up and speak out and show what's actually possible when you just relentlessly go after the things that you want, not what society tells you that you should want. And that's you. Okay? That's what you are here to do. So stop playing small. Stop settling for mediocrity. Build your fat ass ego and let the world see what you're actually capable of. Because the world and society is watching. And it's your time to make yourself known.